I think that again, at the end of the day, it's it's the snowball rolling down the hill, right? It started off with one rating schedule change, and the community out there saying, here's the new information on all of these conditions, and the VA goes, okay, well, start sucking in that information and let's change the rating schedule, and then boom, it's the next one and the next one and the next one. And so as that snowball gets bigger, right, rolling down the hill, it's more visible now. I think that people are more aware now than they were, 8 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, of changes. And I'll attribute us, not us specifically, but us as people who are spreading information on different various platforms, whether it's blogging or vlogging or this or whatever, right? All of the us's are really helping to put a magnifying glass on the changes. And I think that more people now are aware of it, and it feels horrific. And it feels all brand new. Now, I'm trying to just slip in little kind of reminders for folks. I've mentioned the April timeframe multiple times. This is for the neurological, auditory, respiratory, and mental health changes. Now, look, we can sit here and guess all day long, but until they actually get implemented and until people actually start filing claims against it, don't really know. All we do know is that there is going to be a change, and this is probably the most important piece of that. If you have a claim in place that includes an intent to file prior to the change and awarded after the change, the VA is supposed to weigh you against both rating schedules. So you actually get two rating schedules to be, we'll call it, compared to. And then the VA will make a decision based between those two, whichever one is better for you, better meaning a higher percentage. So the other piece that I want to throw out for folks is, because this is a little bit doom and gloom feeling, is if you already have for example, sleep apnea service-connected condition, right, or secondary condition, if you're already rated for something, the VA doesn't call, there's no word grandfather in anything, right? It doesn't say veteran will be grandfathered. It doesn't really say that. But what it does say is the VA will not change your rating solely based on the rating schedule change. And if you are better, they will look at the rating schedule in which you were rated on and make adjustments based on that rating schedule. So that is what they say in their announcements. Now, the funny thing, Clay, is, and this is just for those that wonder what Clay and I talk about, Clay, I'm pretending I'm not on the video right now. So okay. Here's the thing. What we need to do, and I've reached out to a couple congressional members, is in the announcement for rating schedule changes, it does mention exactly what I said, right? Mm-hmm. That there is no, that they will be, even that they'll be held to the previous, the one that they were rated against to begin with. But when you look at the CFR and public law and the M21, it doesn't say that last part, that they'll be held to that current, the rating, not current, the rating schedule in which they were rated against. It doesn't say that. You can kind of read between the lines that that's what it says. But what I'm proposing to different congressional members is, look, you want an easy win? You want something that you could, hang your hat on? Do this. Add this verbiage in there that really solidifies the fact that if a rating schedule change occurs, not only will they not change you solely based on the change, but that you will be held to the standard of the rating schedule in which you were rated. Like, let's get it in writing, because like I know, these little gaps in policy, right? Because just because the VA said it in an announcement, that doesn't really mean anything. But the fact that they did will help us get that into the CFR and so forth. Your thoughts?
Yeah, exactly. No. So 2 out of 3 things that you had said are in 38 CFR. It's that last piece that's not, that really is ambiguous. And I just want to make that clear, right? So in 38 CFR, it says, I'm paraphrasing, shall not. So if a veteran's service connected for mental health, a mental health change happens, the VA shall not make the rating change. Now, does the federal government understand what shall not means? That's a little, two-way joke there, but whatever. So that's in there. The M21 TAC one says, hey, if you have your intent to file, you're going to, in a rating schedule change happens, you're going to be rated on both schedules. Good. It's in there. We know that. In fact, for GERD and IBS, I've met with many of them. They were not rated on both schedules. That's a simple higher level review. Bang, you get rated on both schedules. And so now you're like, okay, do VSRs know the TAC 1? The answer is no, they don't. And I know that's absolutely crazy to say, but they don't. And it's that we have evidence of that. But then it's that last part that's not in there, just in case that went over anyone's head of if you're rated on mental health, the change happens, years down the road, you improve on mental health. Well, which schedule do you get rated on? The press release says it's the old one. Nothing in CFR, nothing in TAC 1 or the TAC 5 says that specifically. So gaps in policies, we've talked about that a lot, are generally bad because it's left up to interpretation, right? It's kind of like a C&P exam. That's a gap in policy. It's left up to this examiner's interpretation, not your evidence, not your treating physician. It's that C&P examiner. Anyways, those are my thoughts on just VA rating schedule changes all together. I'm of the opinion it's bad news bears, right? There's it's, we're on the West Coast. What is it? I think it's San Francisco that always has like that buggy cloud. It's very muggy in that San Fran, the Bay Area, just because of like smog and pollution. That's my whole thought process on the VA rating schedule changes. Would be a good way to.
Is it San Francisco? Perfect. Yeah, that's funny.
If you're ready, Jason, I would like to transition into, I was going to go straight to the bill of DBQs, which I think is objectively worse than the rating schedule changes. Let's hold off on that because I want to talk about something good.